was the most rigged game ever. Look at this. It came down to a travel. She took 3 steps before dribbling, and the game came down to a travel called an Aaliyah Boston. But let's get started.
That sequence turned a close Indiana Fever game into a full-blown officiating controversy, and Caitlin Clark was right at the center
Travel
of it.
called an Aaliyah Boston. But let's get started. They called this a foul right then on the shot on Caitlin Clark. And then when they replay it, Caitlin Clark does not come near her body. She blocked that.
One disputed foul call immediately had fans asking whether the officials were applying the same standard on both ends of the floor. On the replay, Clark appeared to make a play on the basketball, yet the whistle went against her, leaving fans frustrated and social media exploding with debate. One questionable call can happen in any basketball game, but when several controversial decisions pile up, the conversation quickly shifts from one mistake to a bigger question about consistency. The controversy became even louder when fans compared the call involving Clark with other plays featuring Fever players. Sophie Cunningham appeared to take significant contact during the game, while another sequence involving Kelsey Mitchell sparked questions about why similar contact seemed to receive different treatment. Of course, one replay angle cannot always reveal everything. A defender can touch the ball first and still commit a foul through body contact, an offhand, or a follow-through.
To overlook.
But Caitlin Clark does not come near her body. She blocked that shot. Should have been a shot block. Look at this. And we had a close game at the end of the third. That's all ball. That's all ball. And then look at this one. We had to use a...
When thousands of viewers watch a replay repeatedly and still cannot clearly identify the illegal contact, it is understandable that fans begin demanding an explanation. For Caitlin Clark, the situation carries even more attention because every possession involving her is heavily scrutinized. Clark has faced constant criticism over her defense, with some analysts arguing that she reaches too often or struggles against quicker guards. Those are legitimate basketball debates. But if a player is encouraged to defend aggressively and then receives questionable whistles when making defensive plays, it can change the way she plays for the rest of the night. A guard dealing with foul trouble may become hesitant, back away from shooters, or avoid challenging plays she normally would attack. Then came the coach's challenge debate. Replay exists to correct obvious mistakes, but challenges are limited and using one can have a major strategic cost. Even when a call is overturned, a team has still spent valuable time and altered its late-game strategy. In a close contest, that matters. The bigger issue isn't whether referees ever make mistakes, they will. Basketball moves too quickly for every decision to be perfect. The real concern is whether similar plays are being judged under the same standard. That is where the debate surrounding Clark, Cunningham, and the Fever became...
That's all ball. That's all ball. And then look at this one. We had to use a challenge on. If I was a referee, I would sue my eye doctor because they didn't get that prescription right. This one had me thinking, if you're part of the...
So that brings us to the next...
Some fans began suggesting the game was rigged, but that is a serious accusation, and the footage presented does not prove any coordinated effort to manipulate the result. What the footage does provide is enough material for legitimate questions about defensive contact, shooting fouls, missed calls, travel calls, and consistency. There is an important difference between saying officials had a poor game and claiming they intentionally influenced the outcome. The controversy also took an unfortunate turn when some commentary focused on an official's identity or political views. That has nothing to do with whether a basketball call was correct. Criticism should focus on positioning, mechanics, contact, replay decisions, and consistency, not someone's gender identity, sexual orientation, or personal beliefs. If a call was wrong, the strongest argument is simply to show the play, explain the rule, and compare it with similar situations. Sophie Cunningham adds another interesting layer because she has become one of the most polarizing personalities around the Fever. Supporters may believe she absorbs significant contact without receiving enough protection, while critics may see the same plays as normal physical basketball. But officials should judge the action in front of them, not a player's reputation, public comments, or popularity. The same standard should apply to Cunningham, Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and every other player on the court. The Kelsey Mitchell
eye doctor, because they didn't get that prescription right. This one had me thinking, if you're part of the LGBTQ, you shouldn't be able to be official in the WNBA. The coach is wearing that trans kids belong shirt, and they call a foul.
This is also where the consistency argument even stronger for many viewers. If Clark is called for contact while defending, but Mitchell appears to take significant contact while airborne without a whistle, fans naturally want to know why. Airborne players are vulnerable, although not every collision automatically qualifies as a foul. The key questions are whether the defender entered the player's landing space, displaced her body, or made illegal contact. Without enough replay angles, viewers are left comparing the two plays and forming their own conclusions. The same issue applies to technical fouls and player reactions. Caitlin Clark receives enormous attention whenever she argues with an official, while other players may show similar frustration without receiving the same level of criticism. That does not automatically prove favoritism. Different situations can involve different warnings, language, or behavior. But the league should make sure its standards are clear and consistently applied. Players should be judged by their actions, not by whether they are popular or controversial. By the end of the game, the debate was no longer about one foul or one travel call. It had become a larger conversation about officiating credibility. Fans do not expect every whistle to favor their team. They want to understand what standard is being used and why similar plays sometimes appear to receive different rulings. So, was the game actually rigged? Based on the footage discussed here, there is no verified evidence proving intentional manipulation. But did the controversial calls raise legitimate questions? Absolutely.
Are unpopular.
The coach is wearing that trans kids belong shirt, and they call a foul for Sophie Cunningham. The only one that came out to speak was she's getting rocked in the jaw. Then Caitlin Clark, another ghost foul. Like, they don't let her play.
Watch the highlighted
would be transparency. Review the key possessions, explain the rulings, acknowledge mistakes when they happen, and make sure officials are held to consistent standards. As the WNBA continues to grow, officiating credibility will become increasingly important. Every controversial Caitlin Clark moment can go viral within minutes, bringing millions of new eyes to the league. The best solution is not special treatment for Clark or any other star. It is simple. Call legal defense legal, call illegal contact illegal, and apply the same standard from the opening tip to the final possession. Now the question is yours. Was this simply a poorly officiated game filled with normal human mistakes, or do you think the repeated inconsistencies deserve a formal league review? Let us know what you think in the comments, and subscribe for more Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark officiating controversy isn't over yet, because the replay everyone keeps talking about has opened a much bigger conversation about consistency in the WNBA. One whistle can change a possession, but when fans see multiple questionable calls involving the same team, they start asking a much bigger question. Are players being judged by the same standard every time? And this is where things get interesting. Caitlin Clark has spent much of her career dealing with intense defensive pressure. Teams know she can change a game with her shooting, passing, and playmaking, so defenders constantly try to disrupt her rhythm. But when Clark contests a shot and the whistle goes against her, fans immediately want to see the replay. Was there actually illegal contact, or did the official simply have a difficult angle in real time? That's the part people sometimes forget. Referees don't get the luxury of watching the play in slow motion before making a decision.
Speak was she's getting rocked in the jaw. Then Caitlin Clark, another ghost foul. Like, they don't let her play defense, and then they claim that she can't play defense. But the officials are so inconsistent, they won't call this a foul. Kelsey Mitchell gets hit out of the...
Now we come to the...
They have a fraction of a second to judge contact, positioning, and player movement. A replay can make a play look completely different. But that doesn't mean fans should stop questioning controversial calls. If the replay creates confusion, the league has an opportunity to explain exactly what the officials saw. And then there's Sophie Cunningham. Her physical style has already made her one of the most talked about players surrounding the Fever. When she takes hard contact and no whistle comes, fans notice. When she commits contact and gets called, fans notice that too. That's the reality of becoming a polarizing player. Every whistle gets interpreted through the existing narrative. But here's the bigger issue. The standard shouldn't change because a player is popular, unpopular, a star, a role player, or controversial. If the same type of contact happens on one end of the court, it should be judged the same way on the other end. That's why the Kelsey-Mitchell comparison has become such a talking point. If one Fever player is called for contact while another appears to experience similar contact without a whistle, fans naturally want an explanation. That doesn't automatically prove bias, and it certainly doesn't prove a game was rigged. But it does create a legitimate discussion about consistency. And consistency matters even more when the game is close. A foul in the first quarter is important, but a questionable shooting foul late in the game can completely change momentum. 2 free throws can turn a one-possession game into a multi-possession game. A missed call can create a transition opportunity. A challenge can disappear from a coach's pocket. That's why the WNBA doesn't simply need fans to stop complaining about officiating. It needs transparency.
They won't call this a foul. Kelsey Mitchell gets hit out of the air, and then the game came down to this? Where's the foul at? That's a shooting foul? And Olivia...
The commentator asked...
Show the replay. Explain the rule. Tell fans why one play was a foul and another wasn't. Because Caitlin Clark's games aren't being watched like ordinary games anymore. Millions of people are paying attention to every possession, every reaction, every whistle, and every replay. That means controversial moments will spread across social media almost instantly. So don't start with the conclusion that the officials were biased. Start with the evidence. Watch the replay. Compare similar plays. Look at the defender's position. Check the contact. Then ask the most important question. Was the same standard applied? That's the debate that actually matters. And if the league wants to build trust with its rapidly growing audience, the answer can't simply be silence. Fans don't expect perfection. They expect accountability. Now I want to hear from you. After watching the replay, do you think Caitlin Clark deserved that foul, or was this another questionable whistle that should have been reviewed? Drop your take in the comments, and stay tuned for the next breakdown because this WNBA officiating debate is clearly not going away.